Good morning or afternoon if you're on the other side of the Atlantic, like my good friend here. Steve, good morning. Afternoon, Steve. How are you?
I'm quite well. How are you? Well, I know how you are, but
I'm
for the audience.
I'm good. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to that. I've been excited for this.
Yeah,
So
me too.
it'll be good. Um
This is a good way to revisit old movies that you haven't seen in a while, or
yeah.
in some cases, watch something you missed, like I Road to
Yes.
China.
Yes. I'm still that like of all the movies that we have watched and the few that I've not seen, that was probably my favorite, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I love LadyHawke and I love Silverado, which are of course the films we're going to talk about today. But I had seen both of those. Granted, it had been a long, long time for both of them.
Yeah, yeah. I spay, sorry. I paid special attention while watching rewatching the movies this
Mm-hmm.
time.
Um, I, you know, I like it didn't surprise me. I don't know how to. So it's not that I was like overly surprised, um, but when I rewatched LadyHawke, I was like, oh my god, that's Michelle Pfeiffer. Like I knew that, but like to watch it, because like when you're a kid, you don't, or like when you're younger, you don't necessarily pay attention to all of that stuff, and then it's like, oh crap, that's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and if you look at what she looks like today, she is aging well.
Yes, she stayed
One,
away from she stayed away from the fillers and the reconstructive bone surgery on the face. And I think she said it was cuz she was, when all of the lip stuff was like a craze or whatever, she had like an allergic reaction to it or something, and so she just has stayed away from it.
yeah,
And
compare it to Meg Ryan. Holy,
oh
she
god.
she's ruined her face.
Yeah. Who's another one? Courtney Cox. Beautiful woman, but
Yeah,
like she can't smile
yeah.
because she's.
Famke Janssen has done it now too.
Oh man, it's
It
just.
looks it looks like House of Wax or something.
Yeah. Yes, that is a good. Just that's a very good description. I like. They all have sort of that same sourpuss look on their face too. Like, have you noticed? Chelsea Handler is, I think, another one that's gotten a lot of work done. And
Yeah,
it's not helped her at all. She used to be actually really pretty, um, prior to, I think someone has said she's had like 16 facial like stuff. What is it? Not liposuction. Why do I want to say liposuction? Uh,
Botox.
yeah, stuff like that. Like she's had Botox injections, but like she's actually gone in and had them like shave her chin. Like she's had bone reconstruction surgery. That's what it is.
Hmm.
Like she's not um uh I don't understand why you
You
would
know,
shave off bone. Like that confuses me because I
the
don't know,
bone
like,
stays the same pretty much anyway. I guess it's to make the face look thinner or something, but you know what it looks like though? It ends up looking like the Joker, you know? The
yeah, it really
thin
it
jaw
it
and
really
all.
does. It comes across as like and I could be misquoting or like I could be confusing her with somebody else, but I distinctly remember that Chelsea Handler used to have like she had a really soft feminine face. And you know what, hang on, let me. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I
it's
know this is way off topic, but like since we, yes, here we go, perfect. Okay, and of course it's Sorry, guys, you're going to have to bear with me if I click on it. Apparently, someone has had it taken down, but I know this is, like, not anything that we're going to discuss, but, like, see? Like, she used to have, like, this really sweet, she had, like, a really nice apple, like, the apple cheeks, and she smiled really sweetly, and, like, now she just looks sad.
It looks like they put her mouth on.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Like I think if maybe so like I had to have my overbite corrected, and so for stuff like that, you know, if it's like actual medical stuff, but like that was headgear and stuff like that, you know, like it we didn't do the jaw break because the way that the orthodontist explained it to my mom and I was that once my jaw was broken, it's not like other bones. It's really easy to re-break it again. They're like, yeah, the jaw is hard, but like if you ever like, they were like, you can't do kickboxing, like contact sports are not recommended. I would have to have dropped kickboxing. I wouldn't have been able, like, there would have been a lot of issues because I would have had screws in my jaws.
Yeah.
And so they were like, so my mom was like, no, let's do, I was in braces for 3.5 years. I was in headgear for 2 years, to correct it because it was their concern was, that if we didn't get it corrected, that it would affect my breathing and negatively impact my quality of life and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like my teeth weren't even that crooked, but my jaw was all jacked up. So it took a lot of time, but I don't look like this. Like, you know what I mean? You can tell she's like, and she had such a nice face. Like, why? I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it.
Also, you know, when people have had surgeries and Botox and all that stuff, right? Whenever they smile, it looks like a fake smile because the eyes aren't smiling. The eyes don't.
Yeah, they kill the optic nerve. Yeah, see, same thing. Like, look, it's the same face. They all have the same face.
Yeah,
it's literally the same face. And it's just like, look at, she's a gorgeous woman. I have no idea who convinced her to get any amount of work done. But like, she definitely didn't need the Botox. She definitely didn't need the nose job. I mean, she was beautiful. And like now, I mean, look at this. It doesn't age well.
Yeah, and look at you know, Helen Mirren, who I don't think has had any work done. And she's in her 70s. She's still good looking.
Is that how you spell it? I think so. Yeah, like, oh, she had.
Yeah,
yes.
she had to see it. Yeah, she has had
crow's
something.
feet. So she got her crow's. Okay, of all the things you could do to your face, though.
Yeah,
getting
she
your
didn't fill up
crow's feet.
her.
Yeah, getting your crow's feet reduced is probably like the least shocking or dramatic or, you know, whatever to your face. Like,
oh, look at Cher though. Holy damn.
Right? Like,
and Angelica Houston as well. She looks melted.
She spells it. Yeah, she's like, she was such a pretty, like, she was gorgeous. I remember watching her. I mean, she's still a fabulous actress, but like, I don't know. Hey, you know, like, if you feel really insecure about yourself and you're like, I need to get this work done so that I'm confident again or I'm beautiful again. I mean, I think maybe try and find ways that don't include, I don't know.
She looks like a goose.
She kind of does. But like, and I'm not trying to be mean. It's just, but it's the same face. But because she hasn't had work done for a while, Like, this is what, like, this, like, that's the thing about plastic surgery. If you do too much of it, you have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Botox, like, if you, once you start Botox injections, you have to, exactly, Project Storytime, putting botulism into your face. Like, there's got to be a more natural, non, like, I don't,
Eat healthy and exercise.
right? Like, and I know that that's not the answer to everything, but that's going to take care of 90% of it for real.
Yeah,
Don't do
it's better
drugs. That'll take
than
care of the other 10%.
yeah, it's better than doing permanent damage. That
Yeah, because
and
your skin
every
can't,
time you try to fix it, it gets worse.
yeah, your skin can't recover from this. And you know what I always find fascinating is like, is the, what's it called? The purpose for Botox. Do you know why Botox was actually invented
No.
or like used? It was to help treat migraines. And then people who would get the Botox injections for their headaches would notice that their foreheads were smoother where the injections were done. So like half their face would be smooth and like plump and younger looking, and the other half would look not that way. You know what I mean? Like wherever the injection went in, they noticed that it tightened up the skin. But it was just a temporary solution. Well, then of course, pharma or however they went about it dug into it, and they were like, "Oh, it helps you look more youthful because it pumps up your skin and it's good for you and recapture
And
your youth." I will never forget that. I was like 11 years old and a Botox infomercial came on, and it was like, recapture the days of your youth, because it was a Days of Our Lives infomercial. And I'm like, Grandma, what is this?
you know what? It's kind of, back in the day they used to tighten a leather band around people's heads
Mm-hmm.
for migraines. It's almost like that, but it's a skin tightening.
Yeah. Yeah. And but like, that's the thing, you can't, I don't know.
Hmm.
You
Well,
can't. Yes, exactly. Brilliant. Like, eat healthy, don't do drugs, exercise. Yeah, take away adrenochrome. Like, I think honestly too, I really do think Botox is addictive. Like, not just looking more youthful, because some people get obsessed with their like face, with their looks, but I think Botox itself is actually probably a bit addictive. You know what I mean? Because it is technically a drug.
yeah, I
So,
think I think a lot of the actors are self-obsessed to begin with,
mm,
so they
well, and I mean, but
yeah.
she's, like, just thinking of some of her really iconic roles, I just don't understand. And I get it. Like, I mean, I don't think Botox is ever going to get you back to this. You know what I mean? It's like they're chasing the unattainable, and in the
Yeah.
process, they're making, like you said, wax figures out of themselves.
They're
And
basically the way they're chasing what they want makes them destroy what they want
yeah,
or
it's,
destroy what they have,
mm-hmm,
right? It's kind of so it's like almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you
yes.
know.
And it's so sad. It's like, hold on. I'm just, and here's the thing. We're not doing this, guys, to like bash actresses or even actors that do this kind of stuff. But it does make you question, like, what, why would you go to the lengths of injecting botulism into your face rather than first trying, like, like, I'm going to be perfectly honest, guys, especially if you're on the light end of the spectrum like me. I swear to God, my inner ginger just refuses to let me tan. I just fry and then get more freckles, and the freckles don't even touch. So, like, I don't even know how that's possible, but it's like dang near impossible for me to tan. But just like put SPF on your skin when you go outside. It doesn't even have to be high if you want like 10 or 15 because you want a little bit of a tan, that's fine, but just put wear SPF on your skin. There's natural stuff. Eat meat. Eat your veggies, assuming you don't have an autoimmune disease like Dr. Peterson's daughter. But I've heard the carnivore diet's really good for your skin. But I like cucumbers and squash and carrots. And I even like celery with peanut butter on it. I love celery. But yeah, it's just always been really weird to me that a lot of these actors and actresses will go under a knife or they'll stick a needle in their face, but won't eat proper
if you think
foods.
about it though, having a needle stuck into your face and all that surgery and all that, that's a big deal. You have to be really into that to actually go through it, right? There's a crazy determination behind it, I think.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I think so. Yeah, I don't know. This one has always really I'm not sure. Chat, I know this has nothing to do with what we were going to talk about.
Her nose was bigger and
yes, so they make fun of it. They make fun of it in the show Friends. Yeah, they make fun of it in the show Friends. She gets a nose job, but it's they're like, oh, I hope you get your real nose. But it was something that she was super self-conscious about because I guess she had a deviated septum. Is that what it's called?
Her nose was big.
Yeah,
in Leprechaun.
Even here, it's pretty big. And then so she definitely, I don't know if they corrected her breathing issue, but apparently she got it after the first season of Friends or something, or whatever it was that she got enough money for it. She went in and got her breathing issue fixed. And then they made fun of it on the show. They were like, "Oh, you went and got a nose job," and she's like, "It was a deviated septum." But then at the Friends reunion, she actually shows the the notes, and is like, "See, it was literally for medical reasons." And I was like, "Interesting," but I don't know. People are like, "Oh, there's no way she's had work done," because I mean, she definitely doesn't have the same waxy look as Chelsea Handler, but she clearly has to have a key to the fountain of youth because nobody should look this good at 55 or 56 or whatever her age is. She's up there, isn't she? She's
she's around 50, I think.
Yeah, I hope I age a third that well. But yeah, this is her when she was teens. This is her early 20s, and this is her now. It's just fascinating. I don't know. I guess it would take... I don't know. I guess it's just... not anything that I would ever personally do. That's for sure. I can't imagine... I can't imagine... I don't know. I feel like there's a better way than going under the knife or getting stabbed with a needle.
Yeah.
But
speaking of stabbings, we have movies to talk about.
We do have movies to talk about. But all right, let's see who's here. Oh, hi, Father Miller. Yes, I'm live again because I'm trying to do more YouTube stuff, Father Christopher Miller. Good morning, by the way. I've not said my rosary yet today. I'm sorry, Father Miller. I will do better. Project Story Time. Good morning. I'm assuming it's Josh. There's a stem cell treatment that works. They can have it. Good morning, Sultan. But also, no thank you. I'm not putting stem cells in my face. No. I would You know, there's a mud mask, Stieg, and it's got it's got poop in it.
Oh,
I would probably
so it's an expensive way to get shit faced.
Yeah. Yeah. I would probably do that before I would definitely do that before I injected myself with stem cells. Like, no. Yes. Yes. Good job, Real. Yes, I'm so excited. So for those of you that don't know, last night on Nostalgic Nirvana, I covered Hercules: The Legendary Journey series. There's 6 seasons, not 5. The 6th season was super short, and I always assumed that was just part of season 5. It's not. It's its own little mini season, and it's got 5 films. And they're all like, it's just a good time. It's a fun series. It's very much a foundation stone for sword and sandal stuff. It's just a lot of fun. And so, you know, Hercules' best friend in the show, Stieg? Were you watching last night? I didn't see you. So
No, I was asleep.
Okay. So there's a part in there, like, I'm explaining how when I would hear it in the show, when I heard his name in the show, I knew who it was. But like when I would read his name, because the capital I looks like a lowercase L because it didn't have the line on top and the line on bottom, anytime that I would look at his name, it would be Lolis. I thought it said Lolis. And then Bush McFadden typed it in the chat. He did a comment and I read it. And I literally read Lolis. And I was like, no. I was like, I did it again. It was bad. It was very bad. But yeah, it just the chat got a kick out of it, but I had to like run away and stick my head in the sand because it was bad. And like I was literally like, God dang it, I did it again. But it does. It looks like a lowercase. My brain goes to lowercase L. Like, can't we give capital I's the line on top and the line on bottom again, please? Like, why did we stop doing that? I don't understand. It's not like we got rid of the top of the T.
Yeah.
Last I checked, aging is a thing. Father Time is undefeated. Yes. Yes. Sultan, get your vitamins. Oh man, did you guys over in Norway? Did you guys ever have like those Flintstones vitamins?
No.
You never had the chalky Flintstone vitamins? Good memories. Actually, quite terrible memories. They were horrible, but they were good for you. No, I've not tried beer creams, Brilliant. L'Oreal had them, and they were really good for the skin.
You'd think beer creams would be good for ailments.
Oh my God, Steve.
Yeah, I was happy with that one.
Oh. Yes, Faye, LadyHawke is a great movie, and it had been a while since I had seen it. I was telling Stieg, like, at the beginning of the stream, like, it wasn't a shock because I knew she was in it, but it's like I had forgotten that was Michelle Pfeiffer.
You know who else was in it that I had forgotten? Alfred Molina.
Oh, yeah. He's Caesar.
No, he plays the tracker that's hunting the wolf.
Yeah, isn't his name?
Oh,
I could have swore they called him Caesar. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It's been a few days since I've watched it. I could be fuzzy. Let me see. Oh, and last night I went to IMDb for the first time in forever, and now it's all over my recommendeds. But here, we'll do LadyHawke's IMDb. Okay, hang on. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caesar.
Oh, thought I was losing my mind. Are you so? Like, how do you really feel about Matthew Broderick as an actor?
Hate him. Think he's shit.
You know, you've picked like 3 films with him in it, right?
I don't like him. I
You
think
just
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a shit movie, and it's because of him.
I've never seen it. It
Yeah.
was like my mom loved it, my sister loved it, my brother loved it, my dad loved it. I always had either basketball practice or swim practice or tennis or drama or choir or band or jazz or swing or 1,000 other things going on, debate, speech, whatever it was. It was I was like never home, and then my mom's like, "Oh my God, you need a Ferris Bueller's Day Off," and I was like, "I don't even know what that means." She's like, "I failed you as a mother," and I'm like, "I don't think you have. I think we're gonna be okay," but I don't know. He has a really distinct voice. I think he would have probably been better. Like, I think he does better as a voice actor, but even then, he's just kind of himself.
No, he should be flipping burgers somewhere.
Oh, Faye, you're totally fine. IMDb is not a bad thing necessarily. It's just I've noticed that they get a lot of stuff wrong.
Oh, and now though it's just used as propaganda for
Yeah.
to sell movies, because I think it was John Talks I was on with a few years ago, and we were checking the the IMDb score
Yeah.
for, I think it was Captain Marvel, and 2 weeks before it was even released anywhere, it had over 20,000 votes, and most of them were tens, I think, and all of it was new accounts.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate.
Yeah, so it's that they're inflating the the score to make people go watch the movies. And I think what was it? Disney got busted using a company in India that has like piles of people, just making thousands of accounts and just writing generic reviews.
Yeah.
And moving on to the next movie with a new
I believe
profile.
those are called bots.
Kind of, but it's a person behind it, though.
Well, you can run a bot account, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He was great, Faye. Good morning, Miss Martin. Yes. Like, but how could you not be in love with Rutger Hauer? It makes me wonder, because, like, even when I was rewatching this, I didn't think Matthew Broderick was horrific, but he is definitely not Rutger Hauer. Like, when you just...
Yeah, and
you watch someone who's way out of their own league, it's like, I don't even know what you're doing here, little boy. Like...
Yeah, and his English accent, that was,
It's probably because I'm not a Brit, but I found it hilarious and a little bit endearing. But that's just me.
It was like, when Kevin Costner tried to be English in the Robin Hood movie. It was like, he's not.
He didn't try, though. He just, like... He
I don't
was
know.
just, like... It's just, yeah. Go bake some bread, Brilliant. What are you doing? The sexy bots. What are you doing, Sultan? Oh yeah, Faye. That's yeah. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes does it too. So does Metacritic. Like, they all do it. But IMDb, I was specifically turned off of IMDb because they did that when all of that stuff came to a head in 2018. They specifically said, similar to, like, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. They were like, essentially, I think it was Captain Marvel. Maybe it was maybe it was sooner than that. It's hard to, like, I never watched Captain Marvel. It was just a big blur of crap in my rearview mirror. But it was basically like, if you're gonna come in and review bomb Captain Marvel, don't use our site. And they not only did Rotten Tomatoes change the way that they score and track ratings for films, but IMDb did as well. But they were more insidious about it because you have to go read the fine print. And essentially what it says is that anything that is lower than a 3-star review for new films, for new films, will not be considered in the mean.
Oh, you know what they did on Rotten Tomatoes though? That was the same stream I was on with John Talks. We were, all of us posted a negative review, right? Like
Yeah.
a small one.
Yeah.
It got hidden. All of them got hidden, but then we did
Yeah.
a positive one, and they showed
They
the
all
positive
showed.
ones. Yeah, almost within minutes.
Yep. That's not surprising at all. I mean, at all. Yeah, it's that's why people are not as trusting of, that's why the Rotten Tomato score doesn't mean anything. Like people are like, no, we know for a fact that you've messed with it. It's the same thing with
The problem is though, most people don't know that.
Well, the normies don't, because they're too bit. Like, that's the thing too. Like, I feel really bad for specifically the men who are out there working 12, 15, 18-hour shifts. They get home, they're dead tired, they eat and they crash, and then they get up and they do it all over again, right? Because they don't have time, and they're probably working for 4 days on, 3 days off, or 7 days on, 7 days off, or 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, something like that, right? Woo, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So it's not like they have time to really invest in looking up what stuff that like Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb are up to. That's why I think channels like Gary's and Odin's and John Talks and Disparu, I think that it's really important that that those keep doing what they're doing. Razor Fists are great. Critical Drinker, just a lot of people in that sphere, because they're able to condense a lot of information down. Like, Bounding into Comics is fantastic because their articles for the most part are relatively short and direct and to the point, and they don't usually bury the lead like a lot of other things, like a lot of other papers or publishers or websites do. And so if you're able to condense that down and make it more available to normies and put it in a way that makes sense and a way that they're able to connect with that information in a really convenient manner, then they can start to be like, you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't want to be preached at for 3 hours in a film about how I'm evil for being a man when I'm out here working 18 hours a day to make sure that you've got water or electricity or, food, because I'm out here sowing or harvesting or whatever it may be. I've got 2 great uncles that work on a ranch. I can't tell you the last time I saw them sit down at a computer that didn't involve the accounting and the books for that ranch. Or I think the last time they sat down to watch television was Thanksgiving. Like, legitimately, I think that's the last time they sat down to watch TV was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, if you're working on a farm or a ranch or whatever it is, the hours add up. Holy crap, do
yeah.
Because I lived near a lot of them, and I used to do help out.
Yeah.
A few of my friends lived there, right?
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of the chores you have to do, seem like, small things, but they take time.
Yep.
Putting up, fences and stuff for the cows and all that.
Yep. Running fence wire, counting cows.
Yeah.
I never understood. I've told this story before. When I was little, I never understood. So I didn't grow up on a farm or a ranch, but I have family members who had farms and ranches. And I had some friends, like I grew up in the rural northern Midwest. Like it's basically farming and ranching. But I never understood why I had to go out and count cows 6 times a day. Like I was like, this is like, I'm like, until one of those cows went missing. And it's like, okay, well, at your last count, did you have all the cows? Yeah. Okay. So it's only been this many hours, which means this is where the cow could potentially be.
Yeah.
Right. So you go, oh, here's a hole in the fence. We need to fix this before more cows get out. So 2 of my cousins fixed the fence while we went and looked for the cow. And then you realize you're like, okay, so that actually is really important, but it's a simple enough job that a kid can do it. But you don't actually, but because you're doing it like 6 times a day, you think that it's kind of a waste of time. And granted, not all farms and ranches run that way because like some of them are thousands of acres. My family never had anything that big, but at least not that none of my great uncles, and I don't think any of my friends, I think the biggest ranch I've ever been on was like maybe 600 acres or so, which is still, I mean, that's still a lot of acreage, but
tip. If you're putting up fence wire,
mm-hmm.
you use those rolls, right?
Yeah.
And don't connect it to the power before you're done. Because we did that, and I grabbed the whole damn roll.
Oh, how did that go for you?
Well, each little... Yeah, I got electrocuted probably 2,000 times at once. In my entire torso and arms.
I bet. Oh my God. Why did you guys, why?
Because we were like younger than 10 and dumb as shit.
Yep, that'd do it. I bet you never did it again though. Pain is a great teacher. Yep. American Comics, how are you? Yes, I know it's E. I know it's a capital I. American Comics was in the chat last night attempting to help me because I couldn't get over my giggle fits when I was talking about Lolis. And then Boosh McFadden made it worse because I read his comment and everybody watched me do it too. I was reading his comment and I literally said Lolis. And I was like, oh my God, I did it again.
We need to get to the movies though.
We do need to get, well, Steve, Miss Martin is concerned about how you're still alive. Is that why you look so young? Because you got electrocuted?
Yes, I got,
That's the key, ladies and gentlemen.
Probably.
Skip.
I don't know. You know what the key is? You know what the key is?
What?
Have as much fun as you can and stop giving a damn about what you look like. That's probably what it is.
Well, I mean, you should care a little bit. Like, please brush your teeth and comb your hair and put on deodorant. At least.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Like, I even brush my teeth with deodorant.
Interesting. Okay. Beauty tips from Stieg. Don't follow them. All right. Well, if it's the same to you, I'm just going to blow through my 3 1985 facts. You can do yours, and then we'll get to the films. How's that sound? I'll just do my 3. You do your 3. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for those watching, we do facts about each year.
Yes.
In general, every time. Gravy is doing stuff from the U.S.,
mm-hmm.
and I'm doing stuff from the rest of the world. So basically stuff that happened in 1985.
All right. Well, in 1985, one of the greatest American scandals ever took place. Coca-Cola began secretly testing a new formula that became New Coke. And it sold so poorly that ABC's Peter Jennings interrupted General Hospital to announce that Coke Classic had made a return. However, New Coke was still available until 1992, and it was thought that they were in cahoots with the American Dental Association to get more patients.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you drink a lot of pop, you're going to have really bad teeth. Just saying. The top girl's name and the top boy's name in 1985 in the U.S., Jessica and Ashley tied for first. and Matthew and Joshua tied for first. So female names were Jessica and Ashley, and male names were Matthew and Joshua. Those were the top names in 1985 in the US of A. And then for my final fact, which I always, it's funny, we just talked about all like this, the beauty standard stuff and everything like that. Usually I try and throw in like the top TV show or something, but since we've condensed it down to 3, we had Miss America was Charlene Wells from Salt Lake City, Utah, and Miss USA was Laura Martinez Herring from Texas.
She was in Laura Herring was in Mulholland Drive.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She was in a Van Damme movie too.
Dang. Look at that. She did something. She not only did she win Miss USA, but so it always made, like, for people who are curious, between like Miss America and Miss USA are run by different circuits. I don't know that there's a differentiation anymore today, but I do know that back in the day, Miss America and Miss USA, only one of them, I think it's Miss America, I can't remember, only one of them can go to the Miss Universe pageant. I just don't remember which one. But yeah, so there you go. There's my 3 1985 facts.
Well, I have 3 as well from the rest of the world, the civilized part. Well, somewhat. Anyway, on September 1st, 1985, Robert Ballard discovered the wreck of the Titanic at a depth of 12,500 feet, which is 3,800 meters or 2,100 fathoms, about 370 nautical miles southeast of the coast of Newfoundland. It lies in 2 main pieces, about 2,000 feet apart, using Argo's camera rather than sonar, which is how they discovered it. The sonar could not distinguish man-made debris on the seabed from natural objects. But a camera could, and the following day, the main part of the wreck was found, and they sent back pictures of the Titanic, which was the first pictures ever seen of it since the sinking 73 years before.
Wow.
So that's a big deal.
That's huge. Oh man, that's tragic, but also amazing.
Also, it had already been 73 years. Think about that. That's a person ago.
That is a person ago. That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the second thing that I have is Super Mario Brothers. It's released, the proper one, not the. Yeah. It started before the franchise, but this was Super Mario Brothers, and it's frequently cited as one of the greatest video games of all time.
Video games would not be what they are today without Mario.
Yeah, and it's also been one of the best-selling games of all time, with 58 million copies sold worldwide. It is credited along the NES as one of the key factors in reviving the video game industry after the 1983 crash, and helped popularize the side-scrolling platform game genre. Altogether, though, the excluding ports and re-releases, keep in mind, excluding those, 40.24 million copies of the original NES release have been sold worldwide, with 29 million copies sold in North America, including ports and re-releases. More than 58 million units was sold worldwide. This was the all-time best-selling video game for more than 20 years, until its lifetime sales were ultimately surpassed by Wii Sports in 2006.
Fascinating. Of all the things that would surpass it, I wouldn't think that Wii Sports would be the one to do it.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Wii Sports came with the Wii.
Yeah.
So you can kind of conflate them, right?
Yeah, right. It was like, it's built in.
Yeah, and my third fact is, I do the births and deaths thing.
Yeah.
Here's some people of fame that were born in '85. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the best football players ever, you know. Uh, Deborah Ann Woll, actress. Keira Knightley and Lana Del Rey. And this is a weird one because deaths, right?
Yeah.
On the same day in 1985, Yul Brynner and Orson Welles passed away.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's two of the greats on the same damn day.
Yeah. Fascinating. That's amazing. Tragic, but fascinating. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got about 20 minutes left of the stream, so we will get right into it. And it looks like we're going to do Silverado first because that's the one that's on the screen.
Yeah, that's the one I picked for you.
Yup. Okay. So anybody that has been around my channel more than 30 seconds knows that I love fantasy, I love action, and I enjoy a well-written, even a well-written epic romance like The Princess Bride. But I am telling you right now, my heart belongs to Westerns. Like, if they were like, you can only have one genre for the rest of your life, it wouldn't even be close, guys. It wouldn't even be close. I would pick Westerns every hands down, bar none, 10 days a week. Like, it would be Westerns. And how can you not love Silverado? It's got Danny Glover, Kevin Costner, and Kevin Kline in it. Scott Glenn is in it too, but I don't really like.
Yep.
I'm not as.
Yeah, John Cleese is in it.
Yes, John Cleese is in it.
Brian Dennehy,
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Fahey was in it. Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, Gene Hartland was in this. Bill Thurman,
the late great Brian James.
Yes, this movie, like, God, speaking of Jeff Goldblum, there he be.
Yeah,
there he be.
Plays a guy named Slick. That's his name, Slick.
Yes, yes, and like, okay, I know. Hold on, I know that he looks a little bit ridiculous in this getup.
He looks like a pimp.
But yes, he does. But when you know who his when you figure out who his character is, it makes sense. Like, it makes perfect sense, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's yes. It's so good, and I love, like, so basically the premise of this film, I'm not going to ruin too much of it because I want you all to go watch this. Like, I desperately want you all to go watch this movie. And so basically you have these, where'd you go? At no point do any of these men behave in such a manner that you think that they are cucks or incapable or that they're weak. At no point do they, like, it's just pure masculinity through the whole damn movie, and I absolutely love it. Danny, like, and here's the thing too, like, the humor in this film, because a lot of people are used to, like, the Danny Glover and oh my God, why can't Mel Gibson. My brain shut off for a second. Also, like, Lethal Weapon is one of my favorite series ever, but I digress. So a lot of people were used to, like, the Danny Glover, Mel Gibson dynamic. And the thing is, like, Danny Glover is like, he's not just funny, he's really witty. Yeah. And so is Kevin Costner. I know he doesn't make the best Robin Hood, but he's like, specifically the interactions between those two, I forgot how funny they were, because it had, like, I love Silverado. I think I was like 6 the first time I watched this with my grandpa. And it was so good. Like, I fell in love with the Westerns and cowboys. This wasn't my first Western ever, but, like, I absolutely adored this movie. And sorry, go ahead.
The writing is really good
Yeah.
because you have 3 stories basically.
Yes.
Because Scott Glenn and Kevin Costner played brothers, so they tie together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 3 stories coming together in a town called Silverado, in a sense. And with Brian Dennehy being the villain.
The villain, yes. And he does very, very well, by the way.
Yeah, he can do no wrong. That's one of the most underrated actors out there, to be honest.
I would have to agree with that. And I think he particularly shines in this film. And, you know, we've talked about this quite a bit with previous films. The chemistry of this cast is fantastic. Like, they don't...
There's not a bad performance in it.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to, like, they don't give... It's not like... Because if you had to say who performed the strongest out of the core 4... I honestly don't know that I could give you an answer because they play so well off of each other. The chemistry is there. The writing serves them really well. And of course, these are all very talented actors. So they just they bring the whole script to life. And essentially what ends up happening is these 4, they start out as complete strangers for the most part. They're complete strangers. And then they turn into, they go through some stuff. And
they turn into a unit.
Yeah.
And I think the scene that showcases that the most is when the guy's trying to snipe them and 3 of them turn around and shoot him at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. And so they're starting to sort of click and be cohesive. And then you get to the end of the film and like they've grown from 4 strangers who kind of just wanted to do what they needed to do and move on with their lives into like brothers that save, like they're heroes by the end. Well, and I won't tell you why, but if a Western doesn't end happy, it's not a Western. I'm going to stick to that, by the way. But I think the line where...
and it had a heroic theme music as well.
Yes,
which
it did.
Is very much lacking in movies today.
Absolutely.
But to be honest, though, I thought when I rewatched it, I thought if there was a weak point in the movie, it was Kevin Costner's character. He was too goofy and childlike.
Really yeah.
You know, so he felt off a bit. There wasn't anything wrong with the acting. It was just the character was a bit, you know, when they take it a little bit too far.
Yep. I know exactly what you mean. I think he did it well. Yes, Dan Blackwood, it does. Yes, Pale Rider did come out in 1985, Andrew Matthews. By the way, hello. We only get 2 films a year. So it was Silverado or Pale Rider. I don't even think we did Pale Rider as a choice, but
I think you did because you gave me 2 choices.
Yeah, I did give you 2 choices.
You gave me Pale Rider or
LadyHawke. Yep. So
I gave you Pale Rider or Silverado.
Yeah. So we both picked Pale Rider, but we decided not, like, it's just
we hate Pale Rider, both of us.
Yes, we loathe it. Absolutely not. I love space westerns. Brilliant. It's great. Proper heroism is why I became a writer. Time to reconstruct everything good and proper. Abso-freaking-lutely.
And this movie has hero moments.
Yes, real, like, genuine hero moments that aren't forced, that aren't like in today's day and age, if they tried to make this movie, Danny Glover would be the only one who'd be allowed to be a hero.
Oh, interesting thing I noticed: Danny Glover's dad gets killed in the movie.
Yeah.
But the murder is not about race; it's about land. The people want him off. They want to take his land for cattle and all. There is some racism at the beginning where he's not allowed to drink at a bar, but his plot line is not about racism.
No. And this is also
it's about right and wrong, basically.
This is in 1880. 1880? I forget what year this takes place in. Crap. I'm pretty sure it's 1880. So like to encounter that would not be it fits the story to encounter types of racism like that. It's not forced, it's not shoehorned in, it's not blown out of proportion. It's simply like, no, you can't sit at this bar. No, you can't come in.
I'd say Danny Glover and Kevin Kline and Dennehy are the ones that steal the show. And this Scott Glenn is a bit. He's good, but he's kind of
he's
low key.
Yeah, he for me, Scott Glenn for me is. See, but he's not the weak. Like again, he's not. It's not like he's the weakest performance. It's just his character is my least favorite. Scott Glenn does an excellent. So like the best way I can explain this is Scott Glenn did an amazing job. I just didn't like his character that he played the best. If that makes any sense.
He looks more dull than he is when he's near Kevin Kline and Danny Glover's character.
Yeah, that's true. I think so I love the part where like, now I don't want to kill you and you don't want to be dead. Like, I love that line.
Yeah. And this is it. I kind of got the feeling that when I was watching it that it's half Western, half 80s action movie.
It kind of really is. Speaking of 80s, like, look, it's Kevin Costner jumping over a bar.
Yep.
And I will accept that. Also, it took me forever to realize that he did it in socks. And it's like, I knew that, but like, to see him doing all of this in socks, it made me giggle. I don't know why. Also, the random sombrero on the antlers. Like, there's just this film is so freaking good. Here we go. Here's a good one of Scott Glenn, where he looks really intense. But he's also really tall. Like, look at that. He's taller than the horse. Because, like, the top of his head would be right here. So he's, like, as tall as the horse.
Yeah.
But I'm just... Here we go.
Oh, that little lady, too.
Mm-hmm.
Insanely good actress.
Yes.
She was in Kindergarten Cop.
Is that her?
Yeah, she played the principal.
Ah. Yeah. I
think she's passed away now, sadly.
Oh.
But she is great.
Yes, she does fantastic in this film. All in all, if I had to rate this film, it's a 9.8 out of 10.
A 9.8.
Yes.
I was giving it a 7.
Why? Why are you so mean, Steve? What?
No, I thought it was it's basic, it delivers, and all that. I thought the story is fine, but it's not fantastic. It's not Unforgiven, is it? In terms of writing,
it's not. That's why this isn't a 10.
Yeah,
it's not Pale Rider and it's not Unforgiven. And
actually,
that's why
you know
it's
what?
Not a 10.
I'm giving it a 7.5.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
I think this is probably the biggest disparity rating that we've ever had.
Yeah, there's going to be like angry phone calls afterwards. So 7.5 plus 9.8. What's that?
That is 17.3.
17.3.
Right? Yeah.
I think.
17. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have statistics. I'm writing it down.
Yes, we do have statistics. So,
which puts it right behind Das Boot by 0.5 points.
Yeah. So it's hanging in there. It's right there.
High Road to China is still in the lead.
Yes, for good reason. That movie was amazing.
Imagine if I'd given it this a higher score, though, it would have outshined High Road to China.
You know what? I'm gonna drop it a couple of points, because now that you sort of bring up some stuff, 9.5. I'll give this one a 9.5.
So you're dropping it by 0.3, which brings it to a 17.
Yes, so it's on an even 17.
Yeah. Okay, 7. Well, it's still great, right? 17 out. Yeah.
Yeah, 17 out of 20 is excellent. So
Yeah, and it's rewatchable.
very rewatchable. It's so much fun. It's a great time, guys. Really, really, you're gonna enjoy it. So definitely go pick this up and give it a watch, because there's like, it's just so well balanced. There's action, there's
Humor.
there's action, there's humor,
even some gags.
like, yeah, and like, I don't think you could call it, it's not really a bromance what they have. It's like a genuine, it's like a genuine,
you know what it's kind of like?
friendship. What?
The Three Musketeers.
Yes. That is an excellent comparison.
It's swashbuckling with guns.
Yes. Maybe that's why I like cowboys so much. They're basically pirates. Not really.
I think Dan Blackroyd in the chat nailed it. He says it's a lighter, fun version of Tombstone.
Yes, yes, absolutely. K-Dog, no. What westerns are you watching? Okay, I'll ask it this way. What is it about the westerns that you have watched that have been a miss for you that you don't like? Is it the masculinity? Is it the gunfights? Is it the horse riding? Is it the excellently structured story? Is it capable women who still swoon to strong masculine men?
It sounds like you're attacking him.
No, not at all.
Like, this is your lack of testosterone, sir.
Listen, K-Dog. We're going to get you some good westerns that are not boring. I'm not sure. What do you mean boring? Like, because there's not Michael Bay explosions? Because it's a western. And they're still dynamite. Like, they blow up trains and railroad tracks and mountains. I don't understand.
It's okay not to like westerns.
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, it of course absolutely is, but really, no.
I'm trying to defend K-Dog.
I understand. You're gonna lose.
I'm being the good cop.
That's fine. You're gonna lose.
Yeah.
I'll take you both on. I will take out both my 6 shooters at high noon, and I will take you both on. I won't even pace it out. I will just whip around and shoot.
Yeah, but you'd be too late because noon my time would have been 7 hours ago.
Don't worry, I'll come to you. It's fine.
Yeah, I have a graveyard nearby. We can do quick draws there.
There you go.
In the mist.
Cope and seethe. All right, K-Dog. I'm coming to you. What time zone are you in? High noon. You and me. Choose your 6 shooter. I don't recommend a Colt. Not modern Colts anyway.
Schofield.
I like my Ruger. Smith & Wesson's really nice too.
Quick draw with a Luger.
Not a Luger. Ruger.
Count to 9. You know?
No. Oh my God, Steve.
8,
you know what?
9.
9. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Wait, are you saying you don't like the good, the bad, and the ugly?
No, I think he said he liked Sergio Leone movies.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Gotcha. Listen. Are there some stinker westerns out there? Yes, but it is kind of like, I think Razorfist actually put it the best when he said that the Western genre started to die when they started becoming overbloated, 3-hour long, very poorly written with no real direction in them. That's when Westerns started to really fall off a cliff, and they fell off in popularity as well as quality. Now, were there still some good gems? Yes. But I agree with Razorfist. Like, what we're seeing happen with superhero films where they're becoming 3 hours long, they're overbloated, they're shoved with cameos, there's no real coherent storyline. It's the same thing that happened to Westerns.
Yeah, basically, if you have a 3-hour long movie and an hour and a half of that isn't contributing to the story,
yeah,
then that's when you get the problems.
Yep. Yep, because audiences aren't going to sit through. They're going to be like, well, what was the point of all of that? Like, that's ridiculous. Why did I do it? It's just, it's just life. So you give Silverado a 7.5, and I give it a 9.5 for an even 17. Not bad, not bad.
No.
So folks, definitely go find you some Silverado. It is a great time. It's witty, it's fun, it's charming, it's got humor, it's not super heavy on romance, but like there's definitely some
There's
batting,
a romance story in there,
but it's not it's not heavy on it.
Nah, it's just on the side.
Yeah, like it's not
with the Patricia Arquette.
Yes,
I believe.
Is it Patricia Arquette? I think I'm trying to like
it's the oldest one of them.
Yeah, it's hard because she's really young. Like I was like, God dang, I know who that actress is, but I cannot place her.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She's turned into a bitch since then.
Yeah, she has. Am I gonna have two guns, Lady G? All right, I'm gonna share with you a rule. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. That is how you always treat everything. So if you have 2 guns, it's like you really have 1 gun. And if you have 1 gun, it's like you have no guns. Just food for thought. It's a rule in the SEALs and the Marine Corps and all that jazz. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Okay, hold on. Why isn't my mouse working? There we go. All right, so next up is the film that I selected for you with with an actor that you actually don't care for.
But here's the thing. I like Rutger Hauer.
Yes.
More than I hate Broderick.
Yes.
Rutger Hauer was an amazing actor with incredible versatility.
Yes.
Because he did this one and Flesh and Blood the same year.
Isn't that amazing?
And they're polar opposites.
It really, like, his range as an actor was just incredible. Like, it really was.
And the year after, he did The Hitcher.
That is an 86 film.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is I had actually bought it on Blu-ray before you suggested it.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, I'm a huge Richard Donner fan, and this is a Richard Donner film. So, it's not like, it's really funny because now that I'm older, I'm like, man, why do I love this movie so much? Who directed this? Who wrote this? And then like probably 7 out of 10 times it's Richard Donner, and I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, and it has a little bit of the same tone of humor that the Lethal Weapon movies have, because the humor in it relies on 2 characters almost always, which is what he's doing in Lethal Weapon as well. And this is a movie that shows you the importance of plot, because this is a well plotted movie.
Yes,
everything is explained. The foreshadowing has a payoff. It's a solid piece of contained story, which makes it a good movie, because a movie is storytelling. And while it looks like a simple movie, a straightforward romance fairy tale movie, a lot of thought has gone into the plot.
Yes.
Because it flows seamlessly. And it's easy to overlook that in kind of simple movies.
Mm-hmm.
But and Michelle Pfeiffer, this is one of her first acting gigs, I think.
Yeah.
And she is great in it. Hauer has more to do than she does, I think, but she outshines Broderick.
Oh, but for sure. Like, when I was rewatching this movie, I was like, if they made this movie today, they would absolutely butcher her character.
Oh yeah, she would be the one with the sword.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And like, it's really irritating because now, like, if this movie was made today based off her haircut alone, I'd be like, oh,
she would have had half the side of her head shaved.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though: Rutger Hauer plays, the hero,
mm-hmm.
in a sense, but he's the one who makes the most mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
because he's prideful and he has some downsides to him.
Yes, he
You
does.
know?
He really, and like the thing too is he has a reason to be like he has reason to be that confident and have pride in himself. But you're right, he takes it too far. And
Yeah,
it
and he also this is something I noticed. Whenever he's wrong, he admits it and apologizes,
mm-hmm.
which is something you very rarely see in movies or in life in general.
Yeah.
He because there's a scene where he mistreats Broderick a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's told what happened while he was in wolf form the night before he fell through the ice and all.
Yep.
And Rutger Hauer's character named Navarre apologizes sincerely, and that's something I noticed with Hauer's performance in this movie. He brings a sincerity to the performance and character.
No, it's true. Like,
Which is also something which is kind of rare, isn't it?
yeah, like it really is. It like the writing of this film is it brings out through virtue of their actions, by the way. They don't sit there and tell you that they're a good person or a bad person or that they've made mistakes like we see today where it's two people sitting at a table and it's like, I've made mistakes. Well, I've made mistakes too. Well, I've done some good things. Well, I've done some good things too. You know what I mean? Like it always seems to be people talking about it as opposed to actually showing like witnessing them going through the stuff. And in this one, you definitely, through virtue of the writing and the portrayal specifically from Hauer, you get to see the absolute best and the absolute worst of these characters come out organically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can very easily brush this movie off as like a silly fantasy movie. It probably didn't have that high of a budget, to be honest. But and even the soundtrack is a bit off. It's cool, but it's off. That's not a medieval time soundtrack, is it? It's a synthesizer.
Yeah.
It sounds like a video game soundtrack almost.
Yeah.
But it's you can tell that there's a lot of heart going into this movie from the director, from the actors. Everyone put their heart in it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why which is why I think it's aged as well as it had.
I agree.
Because I figured it would have aged poorly due to the effects and all, but the effects are good enough.
Yeah, you know? They really are. And I think the story itself, so for anybody that is not familiar with just the base, the plot basically of this, you have the bishop, and he has put a curse on Navarre and Hauer and Pfeiffer's characters. So she turns into a hawk during the day, hence LadyHawke. And Hauer's character turns into a wolf at night.
Yeah,
and it's because the bishop wanted Pfeiffer. He wanted Pfeiffer, and she rejected him and ran off with Hauer, and so he cursed them to try and always keep them apart.
Basically, he wanted Pfeiffer like everyone else, but he cursed her instead, which he took it too far. You know, the simping. It should have just super chatted, you know. But
yes,
it's and Matthew Broderick plays a thief who serves as the catalyst that solves the curse in a sense, and he kind of communicates, or he's like an intermediate thing, maybe.
Yeah,
between the two, because they can't speak to each other.
No, they can't, and it's not like when he's talking to her while she's in hawk form, she can understand him, and it's not like when he's a wolf, she can talk, like she can reason with him. So
which begs the question, though, why didn't they leave letters with each other.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, there's a couple of ways you could have done this, and my guess probably would be, like, the best reasoning I can come up with is they didn't want to leave anything that could potentially, or like do anything that could potentially lead the bishop to them or give away their weaknesses. Maybe.
Well, Hauer could have just attached a letter to the little straps on the hawk, right? And she found it when she woke up. But yeah. Or later on, they could have written letters and given it to Matthew Broderick. He could have handed it to the other person when they changed back.
I don't know. There's always a few little things. It's like, why didn't they just do this? I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Hey, literally, Dan, you're right. That could be more painful. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be ripping open a wound, wouldn't it? But it could also keep them going. Or I don't know. I still think Matthew Broderick was shit in this, though. I like the priest who was to blame for it.
I love that. I love how you just throw that in there, like every chance you get. Matthew Broderick shit.
Yeah. When I have hated for something, I have it.
Sean Moore brings up an interesting point. There's a scene where the captain of the guard switches out horses at a campsite so he can make it back to town. Probably lasts 10 seconds. Probably took all day to shoot, and I love that they did it. Yeah, yes. I agree. Like, it, because again, this is from a time when people care. First of all, it's Richard Donner, so like details really do matter, which is why the letter thing is interesting. But he is very good at those small little things that you notice, but that overall add to the escapism and even the realism of the film itself. Richard Donner was a master at that, for sure.
Yeah, you see it very often in the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yes, absolutely.
You notice little things, or little comments or looks every time you watch it. Yep. But this is an underrated movie because every time people talk about 80s fantasy, it's either Conan, Willow, or The Princess Bride. This one's always down the line.
Yes, but I love Conan, Willow, and The Princess Bride.
I know, but this one
does not get its due. I agree.
Yeah, it's up there with them.
Absolutely. I think, and honestly, the fact that he looks like such a dork, right? Like,
he is a dork. He's a stupid dork.
Steve, we're gonna have to stop doing films with Matthew Broderick in them because you are clearly biased. And I think we've done 3 films with a Matthew Broderick in them, or at least 2. I think this is the second or third one we've done. So,
I don't know. Maybe he should have been an alligator and gotten eaten.
Oh my god, you're so angry.
No, I say things with conviction.
Yes, and it's just the way you Norwegians talk.
Yes.
You and the Swedes.
No. No. Don't go there.
Don't go there? Okay, we won't go there today. But like, also, here's the thing. Oh, god dang it. Permission denied. See? Why?
Yeah, it's because you mentioned the Swedes.
No.
You made it happen. You deserved it.
Nothing to do with the Swedes. Who do you hate more, the Swedes or Matthew Broderick?
Swedes.
Ooh, what if he was Swedish?
Probably half Swedish.
Oh my god. So like, here's the thing. They can both act. Like, you see this on their face? I brought this up last night. This is called emotion.
Yeah.
I would love to see this on actors and actresses' face.
Oh, the sword movie does when he's, the guy stabbing down at him and he rolls towards him and then rolls back over the sword.
Yeah.
I think he coined that move and he's using it in other movies too.
Oh.
Yeah. And and we have Alfred Molina playing a small part in this one. A wolf hunter that gets killed by his own trap, really.
Yeah.
Which is quite gruesome, his death.
It is, like, especially, I mean, so Alfred Molina is known for sort of, like, a lot of grittier stuff. Like, he's, for anybody that's curious, he's Doc Ock. Like, if
Yeah.
you're like, "Who's Alfred Molina?" He's Doc Ock.
Also, in Indiana Jones, the first guy to die in the
Yeah,
trap,
he's the first guy
the
to yeah.
adios stupido thing, he dies
Yep.
brutally there too.
Yep, he drops the whip and he's like, and he runs, and then of course he steps into the shaft of light and he gets speared through his entire body. Multiple spears.
Yep.
And yeah, he always, like, even in Doc Ock, his death was drowning. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, it's not that gruesome." Have y'all ever, like,
Have you ever
been
drowned?
no, like, have you ever had your head held underwater by, like, a sibling or a cousin? It's not a good time.
No.
Like, panic sets in. They're like, "Oh, but he was so peaceful." Nah, nope.
Yeah,
No.
my sibling didn't like it when I did that.
I bet not. Yes, it is, K-Dog. Yes, it is.
What would you give this movie as a score, though?
This one gets a solid 8 from me, for sure.
Yeah, it gets the same from me.
Boom. So we get an even 16 on this one. It's just, it really is so good. There's a few detractions. Matthew Broderick doesn't destroy it for me quite as much as it does you.
This is not the most annoying he's been.
Yes.
I'll give him that. Yeah, but you can tell, though, in this movie, Rutger Hauer is on another level.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And, you know, sometimes there are some actors that just, they get it. Like, it just clicks, and they're so good, and that's talent. But then they get a good coach or a good director who's really able to, like, nurture it, you know, and then they can grow in their career. Hauer, I don't think I've ever actually seen him in anything that he didn't deliver. I could be mistaken, but
he's always solid.
Yeah, I've not seen him.
Loved to have seen him play a Lethal Weapon villain.
Oh God, that would have been fantastic. That would have been truly epic. Absolutely epic.
He was also the first choice for RoboCop, but he had argued with the director during Flesh and Blood because the director was putting everyone at risk, having them do unsafe stunts, and they cast Peter Weller instead.
Interesting. Well, I've got one on the donation side really quick, since before we get to next month's films. And yes, Faye, blandness is the new trend, and I hate it. That trend needs to die, along with winos getting on social media bashing their husbands who are probably working 15-hour days to make sure they can go get whatever new materialistic trendy thing on social media that they want. So both those trends need to die.
You know what the problem is today? It's the people that review the movies and TV shows for political reasons, and not the writing. It effectively lowers the bar.
Oh, yes.
So that nowadays, if you're watching something that's being praised and it's actually a 3 out of 10, the bar is set at 3 out of 10, right? So when you see something that's, you know, that used to be mediocre, you'll think it's a 7 or an 8 by comparison.
So like, Top Gun Maverick is a fantastic film. It really truly is. It's amazing. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I loved Top Gun Maverick. But the sad thing is, if that film had come out in because Top Gun came out in 86, by the way. But Top Gun came out in the 80s, right? And it had a lot of competition to do, but it did very, very well. Top Gun did really well. This Top Gun Maverick was basically a little bit of passing of the torch. But it was essentially just an 80s action. It was just a standard 80s action movie. It really was. It was it really was, but it was so much better than anything that we've gotten in years. Like 1917 was exceptional, but it did not. That's another film that didn't get nearly enough love. But honestly, go ahead.
I'm halfway through Prey, the new Predator movie,
Mm-hmm.
which was marketed very much by woke people and woke actors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So far, the movie's not woke, and the main character, the lady,
Mm-hmm.
is definitely not a Mary Sue. So I think a lot of people, including myself, will have a surprisingly positive experience with it.
Well, let me know what you think when you get to
I'll
the end.
Yeah, I'll post a little mini review on Twitter,
Okay.
and definitely not a Ray Skywalker character at all.
Well, that's good
She's
to hear.
actually closer to Ripley than Ray Skywalker,
Some
or
big.
rather closer to, yeah, something like that.
That's high praise.
Yeah,
That's
credit
some,
where credit's due.
that is some high praise. But I think like Top Gun Maverick is just, if it was the 80s or even the 90s, it would be our expectation of a movie. But ever since that stupid, Steve, I know you love him, but I really want to just kick the ever loving piss out of Martin's shin, because ever since the whole idea of subverted expectations, they have now taken that to the nihilistic extreme and they've applied it to everything. And so
Which Martin?
George R.R.
Well, he doesn't subvert expectations
No,
at all.
he set out to subvert tropes. That was his whole goal with Game of Thrones. He's done interviews that he stated that. Whether
Oh
that is
yeah,
how
yeah, subverting tropes, yes, but
he took subverting there was an interview where he was talking about how he wanted to subvert these tropes and show that you could do these different things, and so it subverts people's expectations, and then Hollywood, this is what I'm saying, I'm not saying that this was Martin's intention. I am saying that Hollywood took that verbiage and has plastered it onto everything that has sucked, which is a lot of stuff. We're out here to subvert expectations. Nah, bitch, exceed them. What do you mean
yeah,
subvert? That means you can't reach. That means you cannot reach my expectations, so you're not even going to try. Give you my money. Top Gun Maverick is proof of that. Do you know how many times I saw that in theaters? 6. I went to the theater 6 times to watch Top Gun Maverick. That is how much I loved it. That is how much I enjoyed it. If you give me a good movie or a good story, I will give you my money. It is not hard. It's not hard. I don't want to be preached at. I don't want to be told that I have privilege because I was able to work my way up from homelessness and poverty through sheer freaking force of will, and a husband who, quite frankly, is probably too good for me, if we're going to be perfectly honest. But I digress.
I think with the Morton stuff though, with subverting, it's not subverting, it's inverting. The ones we're cheering for might very well end up being the villains, right? But the books are one thing. The stupid shit is in the show.
Yeah,
and a lot of the stuff they complain about Morton for is from the show, which he didn't do. All the nudity and stuff.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of it in the books at all.
I don't know. I know that ever since he did that interview and people took his words and they are applying it to it's just
it's the showrunners, because
of Hollywood. It's not even the showrunner. It's not even it's not even Game of Thrones. It isn't just Game of Thrones. It's the fact that these people in Hollywood think that, because George R.R. Martin said this thing, if we say that this is what we're doing with our film, then people aren't going to judge it as harshly, or they're going to, maybe not really have any idea what they're going to see, so they won't really be able to make a comment on it. That only worked for maybe 6 months, and we're now 5 years into this BS.
Yeah, it's
5+ years into this trash of pure nihilism, absolutely effeminate men, demasculate, like emasculate. I can't even talk. Emasculating men, women who look. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're an elf. You're not getting thrown from the tip of a sword. It's not happening.
That was bloody dumb. I mean, the blade would likely break as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even. And then everybody's like, "Well, Legolas walked on snow." All right. First of all, and I'm gonna remind people. Everybody like laughed at him surfing down the steps on a shield. Like, everybody was like, "That's ridiculous." When he walked on the snow, everybody's like, "How do you do that?" First of all, snow has nothing to do with weight, and it has everything to do with weight disbursement and displacement. That's why if you put on snowshoes, you don't sink. So it's entirely possible that because they're elven, the way that because even when they walk, it's more ethereal. Like, that's part of being an elf. So it makes perfect sense that they displace their weight differently than the other races. So I can even give them that. But I don't care.
It's also in the book, isn't it? That
yes, it is in the
walking
book.
on top of the snow.
Yes, it is. So,
and here's the thing: if it's established that elves can do that, why the hell does Galadriel need the sword as a springboard then?
She doesn't, and
exactly.
Also the sword. Like, not only would that sword slice into her art, like her feet are screwed. Like whatever she's wearing, because if you look at the way it's not how swords work. Like, unless that was the dullest sword on earth, which I'm gonna assume it's not, because you're literally facing down a troll. But also, someone on Twitter, I can't remember who you are right now. I'm so terribly sorry. I will go look you up and be like, "Hey, I mentioned you on our stream this morning." But someone pointed out that if you have time to kneel down to become a ramp to literally lift the whammon into the air off the shoulders of the patriarchy, you have time to stab the troll yourself. Like, why are you kneeling in front of this thing to then fling Galadriel off your sword?
You know what it looked like?
The underworld scene? With Selene slicing Victor's head off. Yep. That's what I thought immediately when I saw it. I was like, why have we gone underworld on this? Like, elves are not vampires. I don't like.
No.
I really, really hate this whole. Okay. Again, if you've been around my channel for longer than 30 seconds, you know that I love dark fantasy. Like Dresden, Conan, Astig. I love Conan, Tarzan, Dresden. Like that. I love dark fantasy. Why in God's name has it been hijacked? It's been hijacked by these same winos who are bashing their husbands on social media, who are talking about, oh, the Fae King, dark Fae.
The answer is simple. It's narcissism. Social media breeds narcissism, and these people want their name to be next to Tolkien's name. Mm-hmm. That's all there is. So it's not about the quality of the writing.
Yeah.
It's about they being mentioned and getting attention, right?
Yeah.
That's all there is.
The thing too is like, the Fae are basically what essentially happened was people took vampires and people took elves and they smashed them together to get current day Fae, which irritates the ever-loving piss out of me. To no end, because it's like, no, like if you want to do something like that, go for it, but stop shoving it in dark fantasy and putting a bunch of erotica in it. Like, that's literally what dark fantasy has been hijacked by. These wino erotica Fae like fantasies. And I don't mean fantasy the genre. I mean, like, these are these women's fantasies that they like. The stuff you should not say out loud is the stuff that these people are now writing about and calling it dark fantasy. And I'm like, this isn't dark fantasy. This isn't even close to dark fantasy.
No, this is just sexual fantasy.
Yeah, it's literally erotica. That's all it is. And it's like heavy stuff too. Like, it's just so freaking terrible. And I'm like, and now I can't trust I can't trust reviews on books anymore because there have been a couple of books that I've picked up that I'm like, you know what, this sounds fantastic. I really want to read it. And then I read it and I'm like, what in God's name was that? Because it wasn't dark fantasy.
The Sarah Moss books. It says on the cover that it's like Game of Thrones. It isn't.
No, it's not. I've not even read Game of Thrones, but I have read A Court of Thorns and Roses. And for any of you that want the tea on what happened with that, basically, I got kicked out of my book club and assault cupcakes are now a thing. You can join my book club and we can talk more about that. But, yes, it's a terrible, terrible book. And I was like, this is nothing like Game of Thrones from what Stieg has described it as. Like, I have never read it, but between you and my husband, I've gotten quite the earful of the difference between the books and the show.
Yeah,
and
it's
my husband loves the books. My husband loves it. And I tried, but I just couldn't. And it irritates me because you have all of these stories that are trying to be like I don't remember what it was, but it was like the way that they had tagged it was that it was an Edwardian Game of Thrones. So if you guys don't know what Edwardian means, it means it's a period piece. Usually it focuses heavily on like romance and chivalry and deception. If you get an Edwardian book, it tends to be a period piece because it's Edwardian. I don't know. You can't use the word for the definition. But it is essentially like, think big wigs, poofy dresses, and
Blackadder season 2.
There you go. So like it's just, literally, Dan, I love light novels. I really do love light novels because you're right. It really is like fantasy from the 80s and early 90s. But like my problem really comes into with This Has Been Invaded. There was a story. I picked it up because it said that it was a cross between, hold on. I screenshot it and sent it to Alasia, I'm pretty sure, because I was like, that's some really big, like, if you're going to make that claim, you really need to be able to back it up, because that's the other thing too. Like, you can say whatever you want about your book or about your show. You know what I mean? But if you can't back it up, then it's utterly disingenuous and false advertising. You should be sued for it and then hit over the head with every published printed copy of your book, in my personal opinion. That seems like a just punishment.
You know, if you flip it, right, when they have like on the cover that it says, it's like Game of Thrones, right? Imagine someone reading Sarah Moss first and they go, oh yeah, Game of Thrones is supposed to be like this. That'll harm Martin too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, all of these, it's just ridiculous. But basically, I can't find it because Alasia and I talk too much. But basically, this book claimed that it was the perfect blend of Beauty and the Beast and Alien. And I was like, listen, those are, you, like, I don't think you actually understand what you're doing, because the expectation that you just set for your book is nigh unreachable. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? By the way, the book was not the perfect combination of Beauty and the Beast and Alien. It wasn't even close. And it kills me, because when people say these things, they are taking what they are doing. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is called a grift. That is grifting. That is when you are taking the goodwill of a different entity, a different person, a different franchise, or in this case, two of them, to build up falsely the hype and quality of your own work in order to entrap people to give you money.
Which means it's false advertisement.
Yes, that is a grift. That is a grift. And I'm so entirely sick of it. I don't
It's killing several industries.
It really is, because you are claiming that these things are something that they are not. And the real problem with that too, because grifts hurt everybody. Because yeah, you make, like, here's the other thing too. Yeah, you make your money, you move on to the next grift, you're like, whatever. But the wake of destruction that you leave behind you is utterly just devastating. And when because when you say it's Beauty and the Beast and Alien and it's the perfect combination, what I'm expecting is like you have a woman who is beautiful but is also capable like Ripley and has like that mother nurturing instinct to, you know, to save the like to try and somehow shelter and bring in like children, like the cat from Alien, or, you know, like, you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Like, to have that more maternal instinct. And the male lead is maybe an alien hunter who went off half-cocked because he thought he was the best at everything, didn't listen to his CO, and now he's got this horrible deformity, and the only cure for it is in the hive of this alien species. Okay? That's not what this book was. Like, I feel like that's a fairly good expectation to have if you're telling me this is Beauty and the Beast meets Alien, right?
Another thing it does is if you have a young audience, that they're more prone to believe what is said about a product.
Mm-hmm.
So you're effectively dumbing down the younger audience.
Yes. Yep. And it's just a travesty. The book, I can't find it, but basically, she could do no wrong. I will just basically put it that way. And he was like down on his luck, wasn't inspired, couldn't do anything, but like he's this big war hero. But, you know, she came along and like this crisis happens with this alien species, and he's like, I'm not the one. Literally, I'm not the one to lead us. She is. What the actual frickety frack? Like, no, stop it. Stop it. Because you know what? Do you know why that truly irritates me? It is cementing the fact that if you do not have male approval, if the male isn't the one giving you the agency, then you have no agency of your own. It's not through virtue of her hard work. It's not through any action that she has done. It's not because she was a war hero. It's not that she went into these caverns and saved all of these children. It's not that she was able to find a way to exterminate these aliens. No, it's because she's just that much better. I'm not the one to lead us, even though I've done all of this stuff. And the reason that I'm not doing it anymore is because I literally watched my best friend get melted in radioactive alien acid in front of me. And after we thought we had won, like, so they got, basically what happened is they got out of the caverns, they got everybody out. He turned around and looked at his best friend and was like, we did it. And then the dude gets snatched by the aliens and is basically dissolved right in front of his face.
You know, you can compare it to Star Wars, the old trilogy, because Leia outranks Han and Luke, but she does it because experience. She is, you know, the leader, right? So she doesn't have to, you know, stand on someone else to get to where she is. She's already done it and proved it.
Yep.
You know, which is the difference of what we're seeing now, right?
Yeah.
Now
it
has to be a big deal that she's being handed.
Yes, exactly. It's she is so much better than me. She is so much more amazing than me. And because you guys trust me, you need to trust that she is what's best for us. I am giving her my mantle, or I am instilling in her all of my qualities via this conversation. And so you should all believe in her more than you believe in me. Like, it doesn't even make any sense because we're not machines. It's not like she can download everything that he went through and he experienced and all of the knowledge and wisdom that he has. You know what I mean?
That was literally what Rey did in Star Wars.
Exactly. She literally downloaded. Oh God.
Speaking of downloadable content, Matt Wilkins is in the chat.
Hey Matt. Good morning. But okay, since we're on that, Andrew Matthews for £5. Thank you so much. Top Gun Maverick plot is the start of the film Space Cowboys and the training and mission from 633 Squadron film. Still a great film. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it is literally a standard 80s movie, but it's so much better. Like, it followed the 80s template, and look at the success it got, Steve.
Yeah.
That is literally all you have to do. Don't cut the men.
If it works, don't change it.
Exactly. But no, instead, we're gonna just have we're gonna have women stand up, literally put them on a pedestal and be like, she's the, and that's the other thing. I swear to God that, I don't know if you saw, I shared on Twitter where I was like, I remember when writers didn't have actors narrate everything that's currently happening in the scene 2 or 3 times to the audience. Like, I remember when we showed and didn't tell. And now everything,
it's writing 101.
Yeah,
actually.
It's so terrible. Like, first of all, the dialogue itself doesn't make any sense. It's super cringe. Disparu pointed out, he's like, why is it freezing if he's always on fire? Like, why does it turn to ice? What is going on? And I'm like, I don't know. Basic chemistry just doesn't exist in this world. Either does gravity or common sense, apparently. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely, utterly shameful. And especially after watching these 2 films, Silverado and LadyHawke, it's like the real slap in the face is, we know that there is the ability to do better. These industries, these companies just don't care.
Well, the audience don't care because they brush it off with, well, it's fantasy. You can do anything.
God, I hate that so much. That's the dumbest. Oh, it's not a license to do whatever you want. Whenever you make something, that's why. So, I think it was Robert Jordan that said the first book is always the hardest, because you're setting up the rules of your universe. And it's easy. The other books are easy because you just have to stay within the rules of that universe, unless you, of course, have like a Deus Ex Machina of a situation happen.
I think it was actually George Martin actually said that when it comes to magic and, the fantasy in a fantasy story, the most important thing is what you can't do with it.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you can't, that once the first book is written, you've established the rules for your universe, and all the other books just have to follow those rules. Yeah. The problem is when you have no structure, like Rings of Power clearly doesn't, they're all over the place. Like, you've got the black elf who is, there's like, he's not being flung off of a sword. He's literally just like, he's
following different rules of physics.
Yeah, he's got like,
simply because of his gender.
Something like, he's essentially matrixing through the air. Then you've got Galadriel, who is underworlding through the air. And to top it off, like, when they're out in the ocean, I guess, from the clip that I saw, first of all, there isn't a human being alive. There is not anything alive. That's how you know this isn't Galadriel. You would not have to move Galadriel's hair to confirm she is an elf.
No, definitely not. Cate Blanchett showed us.
Rings of Power.
From the first second, she's an elf. Didn't need the ears.
Yeah, you don't. Oh, I'm just. Oh man, Trop is trash. It's just utter trash. But on the Streamlabs side, there is a $2 donation from Ding Dong Dan. Good morning, sir. It's been a long time. How you been? And he says what he always says: sing us a song, Lady G. I don't have a song. You've been gone for so long. Nobody ever asked me to sing except you. I think it's a conspiracy. I don't know. But I don't even know what I would sing. Ooh, okay. I'm not Pippin, so forgive me, but we just got on Rings of Power, and it made me think of the amazingness that came before, which is the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy. So let's see if I can do this. All right. Man, I don't know if I want to do that one. Dang it. Okay. Home is behind the world ahead, and there are many paths to tread through shadow to the edge of night. Ooh, that was bad. Sorry, guys. I'm like freaking out. Until the stars are all alight, mist and shadow, cloud and shade, all shall fade, all shall fade. See, I warm up and it's too early in the morning. I'm sorry, Ding Dong Dan. I hope that was worth your $2. There you go.
Oh, it's 50 times better than anything I could do. You win.
Oh, thanks. But oh yes, Nerd Father. Garrett shared that on his YouTube, and it was I died. Oh my god, I died. Oil of Olay. But so that does it for the super chats and the donations. That, as far as I can see, I don't think. Did you see another super chat come in at all, Steve?
No, I'm not seeing them.
Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. So I don't see anything. Thank you, literally, Dan. Like I heard, but even if you guys didn't hear it, like I heard my voice crack. I'm really sorry. I should have not done that song cold for sure. I should have warmed up. But it is Epic Mike Silverado. Okay, so you and I
know what you should sing next time?
What?
The intro song for Cheers.
Okay, you gonna pay me? Because Dan pays me. And I'm not singing it.
No.
Okay. So I have some choices for you. I believe you have some choices for me.
I do. 2 choices.
2 choices. Okay. So
or rather, 1 choice with 2 outcomes.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Well, it is 1 choice, isn't it? Pick between this and that.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, you have a super chat and I can see it.
Epic Mike for $10 sends hearts. Thank you, sir. Mwah, 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 mwah. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so I did not. One of your choices is not Aliens, FYI. This was a hard year, by the way.
Oh yeah, I had to move away from the main ones because I didn't want to, do something that everyone's reviewed, right? So I kind of picked some more not obscure, but off the main track, maybe.
I'm still very much firmly on the track. Like there's such good movies this year that it's hard to get off track.
Yeah, 86 and 87 are insane.
It's fantastic. So my 2 selections for you. Heartbreak Ridge, which should be absolutely no shock to anybody that's ever visited my channel.
I knew it because I saw it was an 86 movie, and I figured, well, maybe I should do that one. And then I figured, Gravy's going to pick that one.
I'm going to absolutely pick Heartbreak Ridge.
So I skipped it. And sure as hell, there it is.
So your choices are Heartbreak Ridge or Hoosiers.
You want me to pick Heartbreak Ridge.
Look, this is like if I asked you a question on Matthew Broderick. I know it's going to be biased, so don't ask me that question. Just make which one do you want to watch?
You know what? I almost watched that one a couple of weeks ago, Heartbreak Ridge, but I ended up watching something else. So I'm going to pick Heartbreak Ridge.
Yes. Okay. Yay.
And my choices for you, and these a little bit different than I usually pick, though. The first one will be The Wraith with Charlie Sheen. Have you seen that one before?
No, I've not, but I have heard of it.
It is absolutely awesome. And the second one is Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Okay, well, I've seen that.
Yeah, which is the most fun one, isn't it?
If I think you and I have different definitions of fun, but yes, it is definitely, it's its own movie, that's for sure.
Yeah,
By far.
and it has the Alice Cooper soundtrack in it.
Yes, it does. So our films for next month are Heartbreak Ridge and The Wraith. That will be my choice, The Wraith.
I think you might get a High Road to China feel.
Ooh, look forward to it
this month too.
So, to give you guys an idea, just a quick breeze over of some of the 86 films besides Aliens and, of course, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I should be mean, but I won't. Platoon, Castle in the Sky, Top Gun, The Fly, Name of the Rose, Labyrinth, Big Trouble in Little China, Highlander, Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, Down by Law, Manhunter, The Color of Money, Little Shop of Horrors, Pretty in Pink, Crocodile Dundee, The Hitcher, Great Mouse Detective, Transformers, the animated, the movie, American Tail, Flight of the Navigator, Three Amigos, Short Circuit, A Better Tomorrow, and Salvador. And that's just like a random, random picking of lists. Those all came out in 86.
You know what? Compare that to 2016. And you can see how dead creativity is. And do the same with 1987 and compare it to 2017. It's, 87, you have Predator, RoboCop, Lethal Weapon, you know, all franchise starters, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And now
I think The Lost Boys too was 87.
I think it is 87, yeah. And then 2016 and 2017 are literally robbing, like they're sacking temples and
it's remakes, reboots, and unnecessary sequels.
Nothing original, nothing new. Like I said, very few exceptions. 1917 was the exception, not the rule, by far. But I digress. So to just do a brief recap, don't get Botox if you can avoid it. It's bad for you. I think we spent 20 minutes talking about that, but it's true. Just take care of yourself as best you can. So, but we covered Silverado and LadyHawke, and LadyHawke got an 8 from both of us, earning it a 16. And Silverado got a 9.5 from me and a 7.5 from Steve, giving it a 17. And we will be watching Heartbreak Ridge and The Wraith for our next BlockBuster archive. So that's going to be fan-freaking-tastic. I'm looking forward to it. Steve, is there anything you would like to say to the people?
I don't know. Just be nice to people and, you know, don't watch woke shit and eat meat.
Yes.
And, on Saturday, we're doing the Sword of Shannara, chapters 7, 8, and 9, I think, on Teresa's channel.
There are longer chapters today, too. I am unfortunately going to be... I'm not going to be able to make... I know I won't be able to make it tomorrow because my ass will be up at 3:30 in the morning to go help... Actually, to go help on a farm. And it's not even my, like... It's not anything at my house. I'm going to go... One of my old bosses, who's now retired, his last daughter just left for college and he needs some help. And so my husband and I are going to go there, and he's like, bring the kids, we'll show them around. And I was like, well, we're trying to get more into the farm life. So this would be an excellent opportunity to like get them into this kind of stuff. So
and in about an hour, I'll post my little mini review of Prey, the new Predator movie, which is surprisingly not woke. It's it's the marketing that's woke. The movie itself.
There was another movie Miss Martin was telling me, but I can't remember what it's called now.
Yes, the one with the Trial in medieval times.
Yeah, and it's got Ben
Uh,
Affleck and Matt Damon in it.
yeah, and
Um,
Adam Driver.
Adam
And
Driver, and
Jodie
it was
Comer.
it was marketed as like
As a feminist movie.
yeah,
It wasn't.
as a feminist film in medieval times.
Yeah.
And Miss Martin's like, that was nothing like what it was. So woke marketing is going to destroy your non-woke film.
The
It's
Jewel.
just-
That was what it was called.
The Jewel. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good movie. 8 out of 10.
Oh, dang. So I have to try and remember to give that a watch.
The Last Duel. Sorry. That was what it was.
The Last Duel. Okay. So yeah, it's
Also Super Chat.
yes, I saw that. So I'm just trying. I'll finish this thought before I run into the super chat. But it I was really surprised because Miss Martin was like, "Have you watched this?" And I was like, "No." Like based off the marketing and what the lead actress is saying about it, I have no inclination to watch it. And she's like, "It is nothing like how they marketed it." And I'm like, so why would you market it that way? And I think it's because what they're attempting to do, this isn't going to work, by the way. You can't, as my grandfather would say, if you straddle a picket fence, you're the only person you're hurting is you. He says it a little bit more colorfully, but it would probably get me kicked off of YouTube. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. But he's not wrong. Like you can't sit if you are a filmmaker or showrunner, a studio, and you're sitting on a picket fence because you're like, okay, we're not gonna put it's not gonna actually be woke or intersectional or man bashing or historically inaccurate, but we're gonna market it like it is. You're sitting on a picket fence, and the only thing you're gonna do is impale yourself. Like you can't do this. You can't do this half and half thing. You have to just make whatever it is that you're going to make and market it true to what it's going to be. Because if you lie about something, similar to Beauty and the Beast meets Alien, all you're going to do is piss off the people who read or watch or listen to whatever it is that you've made. And they're never going to come back to you. And they're going to tell other people to stay away from you. But if you make something and you market it honestly and truthfully, you're going to get a lot more endearment.
Just make a movie where you tell a good story. That's it.
It's not hard. Write a book.
If it already has an established, franchise with fans, stick to that.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to the source material.
Yep.
If it's your own source material, do whatever you want, but please tell a good story.
Yeah, just tell a good story. Andrew Matthews for £5 again. Thank you, Andrew. Says, I think Lady Gravemaster looks like Jessica Biel in Blade 3. That is a very high compliment. And one day I hope to. I really want to look like Sarah Connor from T2. Like that's actually goals. I just can't figure out how to cut my biceps enough. So if you guys, for anybody that isn't aware, you can, there's two different types. Well, there's several different like subtypes, but basically like if you want to just do like the basic, you can bulk or you can cut. So when you bulk, it means you want to put on a lot of muscle mass. And so that's when you see like these Mr. Universes and stuff like Arnie with the swole muscles and Sly with the swole muscles. And nowadays like Chris Hemsworth with the bit, like that's bulking. If you cut, it means you're going for lean muscle. And that's like, it's very flattering on a feminine figure. Bulking on a female figure is harder for one, because females and males bodies are physiologically different. And so it's harder for us to bulk. It's not impossible, but it is harder. You have to work 3 times as hard for about a quarter of the gain. So you really, really have to devote yourself to it. It's not impossible, but if you slip even just a little bit, it's going to take a lot to make up for it. But if you do lean muscle, or like when you cut, it means you're going for lean muscle. It means you're not trying so much to bulk up as you are to be like Sarah Connor or Jessica Biel. So Sarah Connor from T2 or Jessica Biel in Blade 3, or even Xena, like in season 3, she got pretty cut, if I remember right, in like season 3. So that's kind of the difference there.
There's a plot hole involving Sarah Connor in T2. Want to know what it is?
No, I don't want to know what it is.
I'll tell you anyway, though.
Oh, god dang it.
You know when the Terminator pierces her shoulder and wants her to yell for John?
Uh-huh.
Doesn't have to. He can already copy her. He's touched her. So that scene is pointless. He should have just killed her, copied her like he does later, and called for John himself. Doesn't have to torture her at all.
Unless it was programmed into him to do that.
But he doesn't do it with anyone else.
But she's Sarah Connor. And so Skynet is, we are supposed to believe Skynet is self-aware. So Skynet literally has a bone to pick with Sarah Connor. So it could have been that
it's a computer. It doesn't pick bones. It's completely inhuman. No emotions, right?
Well, if it's self-aware, though, it's going to want to punish Sarah Connor in the most horrific way possible.
Can't be reasoned with or bargained with anything. It doesn't have anything like that. It's just systematic.
No, but let me finish. If they torture her in the most gruesome way possible, and then word gets out about it, it may deter any other future threats, which is a calculation that a machine would make.
Who would tell him? If he succeeded, he would have killed John. Nobody would know about the torture.
But then Skynet would have taken over and they would have been able to utilize that torture as an example of what happens if you try to overthrow or undermine the
they're trying to kill off all the humans anyway. They're not trying to...
No, but they do need to enslave some. They need to enslave some. Skynet is aware of that. So what better way to... What better fear propaganda mongering than to present...
There's no cameras. They wouldn't be able to show it to anyone.
He's probably recording it.
Yeah. It's a plot hole. It's added for tension.
We can agree to disagree.
Plus, he could have copied her earlier because he slashes her back in the elevator, so he has touched her then too.
I don't know. I agree with K-Dog.
I still give that movie a 10 out of 10, though.
Like I said, there could be calculated reasons for the computers to do it, and you can sort of fill in why it would do certain things the way that it did. But, all right. So, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Yes, it was malfunctioning. That is fair.
That is a good explanation. I'll take that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is malfunctioning.
So we've got, let's see. We've already done the recap, but we're going to do it one more time. No, I'm just kidding. So next month, don't know the day yet, we will be covering our 1986 films and have our 3 facts each for 1986. And guys, if you've not seen LadyHawke or Silverado, or if you have and it's been a while, go check them out. They're fantastic. And if you want to prep for next month, you can go ahead and check out The Wraith and Heartbreak Ridge. I've not seen The Wraith, so I'm looking forward to it. But I can confirm that Heartbreak Ridge is perhaps the greatest movie ever made. And I'm not even being biased on that.
Yeah, but you haven't seen The Wraith yet.
Yeah,
you might change your mind.
I might, but I doubt it. All right.
I doubt it too. But it's still a damn good movie, and if you haven't seen it, you are in for a treat.
I'm excited. All right, ladies and gents, you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Every single donation and super chat means the world. You guys just spending your time here, it means a lot. And these are always so much fun, especially because you guys in the chat always have great stuff to add to it as well. And Stieg, it's always fun, always a privilege and an honor to have you here. Thank you so much.
Oh, these streams are great because we're talking about stuff we like, and we're providing alternatives for people who don't want to watch the new shit.
Yeah.
And we're basically giving you movie tips, right?
There you go. There you go. Absolutely.
And
100%.
if you haven't seen
And we're
it yet, watch High Road to China, everyone in the chat.
Yes. Go watch High Road to China. It's so amazing. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all so very much. You guys are just utterly fantastic. And I hope you all have a fantastic Friday. Don't forget to check out FNT tonight. The guests are Carrie Smith and Disparu. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So much love. God bless. Godspeed. And